Oh, we're live.
Oh, we're live.
I don't even know the movie. It's a surprise.
X is going to the movies. X, what movie are you gonna watch, man?
X
I want to watch Alita: Battle Angel.
That's
what
good
it is.
things about that.
That's what it was. Alita.
Dude, I can't wait to see that. I heard that movie is great. I don't care what the SJW libtard Rotten Tomatoes says. I look at the critic scores. Not the critic, the viewers. People actually paid.
I love to watch fighting chicks. Badass chicks.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh yeah. I'm for equal rights and lefts.
I'm too threatened by my teenage daughter to go watch another threatening teenage girl on screen. So,
oh my god, yeah.
I'm kidding. My daughter's the best. Can I hint at our new thing that we were talking about doing?
Let's hint at it, man. Let's talk about it.
Well, some of you know, I won't go off on this. I know
pepper the stage, my friend.
The Rogue News audience has heard me go batty over this too many times this week, and I'm sorry, but I'm just excited. But we're so excited about our new trader in the Watch's Trade Room, Dex, the Algo Capitalist, that my mind just I keep cranking through it because of all of our different areas that we are in. And what did I say before, V, about our new mission statement? Get protected or get wealthy. That's our slogan. Is that what I said?
No.
It was cool. What was it?
Oh my god.
Oh, it was so cool. What was it?
Dude, this is what I should have wrote it down, right?
Get safe or get rich. Was that it?
No. Was it get rich or die trying? No, that was 50 Cent.
That was 50 Cent. That's 50 Cent. But no, we were just talking. I was like, listen, if you break our business down, it's either protect your wealth or gain wealth. That's what we're all about.
No.
No, but I'm saying that's the
get
point.
to safety and get wealthy, something like that.
Get safe and get safe and get wealth. I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
Safety
someone put those in comment.
there.
Anyway, because that's sort of where the two ends of our business were. Now that I'm just so excited about having Dex, the Algo Capitalist, in our trading room. I keep thinking about all these different things we do with funding, with protection, and we're gonna. This is now I'm becoming like you, V. You've rubbed off on me, where you prematurely announce products that we didn't make yet, and then people
I love it.
And then people bug me about it all week.
Oh yeah,
all
Dude,
year.
Entrepreneur life. I love it.
People be like, "We're building a skyscraper. You should move into it." People are like sending me deposits.
I love it.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no. What we want to do is help people. Of course, our room. If you have a Binance account and some cryptos, you'll be as happy as a pig in poop. It's great, right? But we've upgraded now, and so now you can do anything. You could trade forex. You could trade stocks. You could trade options, all kinds of stuff. So some people may want to get funding and open up brokerage accounts. And here's the thing. How many times have we come on with our good man, Mr. X over here, and said that you need to manage your money like an adult, right? So if you're going to do that, you should have a proper LLC with the right kind of operating agreement set up. You should have yourself insulated in case you blow it. You should have yourself insulated against debt in case you don't do well with your investment, which is always possible. And so you should be set up to protect yourself. You should be set up to trade properly in a tax deferred structure, and you should get the capital that you need. And we can help you with all of those things. So that's what we're psyched about. And we were just talking to Mr. X, and we were saying, what would you do for a trader who wants to trade in the right tax deferred structure? And he's like, basically it comes down to how you craft that operating agreement. So we're going to be doing that, and we're psyched about it. So cool. RemainCalm.net. I mean, even though we haven't put a bow on it yet, go to RemainCalm.net, set up a call with me, and we'll set you up if you're interested in that stuff. So very exciting. But anyway, what was our topic today, John? I think you were talking about insuring yourself, right? Wasn't that the main thing you want to talk about, insurance?
Yeah, I use this word, but it's incorrectly applied. So I use the word captive insurance, and I do that so that you all can search on it for yourself on the internet and find out what the heck that is.
Captive insurance.
This operates like captive insurance, but it is not. The reason why it's not is because you don't go to the state and get licensing for it, and there's no bonding for it. It's just a contract.
So I'm reading this. A captive insurer, this is right off the internet. A captive insurer, generally defined as an insurance company that is wholly owned and controlled by its insureds.
There you go.
Its primary purpose is to insure the risk of its owner, and its insured benefit from the captive insurer's underwriting profits.
That's it.
So this is essentially this is something you could do for yourself, and then you could go and insure your own car without paying fees all the time.
You can do it that way. Exactly.
Yeah. You got to break this down, man. I mean, geez, I'll tell you right now, I'm paying over $4,000 a year for bloody car insurance on 2 cars.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's because you ran over your pleasure goat by mistake.
What if you set up something?
Don't tell people about that, Frank.
If you
leave my pleasure goat out of this.
Let the man talk.
Since you're already paying that, I would set up a company where you're paying your own company that much, and it becomes a fund you can use for investing, just like an insurance company would operate.
That's what's up.
Oh wow! So you're still putting a bit of money there in case you had an issue and you actually needed to pay something.
That is one way to do it. I think the best way to use a system like this is fund it and use it to invest and acquire assets. I've done that before. It's fun. I mean, one time I always tell this story. It was way back about 10 years ago. I sold part of the holdings of my insurance company, and I went to Europe with 9 people. We went, and for 2 months we went to Europe and had a vacation, and came back and settled everything back in, got my silver back and everything. I was using silver, and settled out to, it cost me $0.
Oh wow. Okay, so walk us through this. So so you say, so you would fund this. How much would you want to put into a company like that?
Okay, well, first you got to start and find out, okay, here's what we're talking about. Auto insurance. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So this specific, now we can talk about airplanes and boats and stuff, but let's talk about cars.
Yeah.
So what's the risk on cars? Well, what's the legal limit that you're on the hook for as a driver? 30, 40,000 of personal injury, and then you have a comprehensive, whatever your state, there's some state requirements, state statutes is what I go on. So like in Florida, I think it's like 30 to 40,000 for personal injury.
Oh.
So you should be able to, here's what it comes down to. You need to be able to compensate a victim if you injure him, if you're found responsible, up to $30,000. Now, if you have an insurance company, the insurance company could be sued for millions of dollars. Which is
interesting. Okay, this is what you've talked about this before, and I always wondered, okay, but what if something terrible happens, and Yeah,
well, there's lots of parts to this thing, but basically you want to look and see what the requirement, the legal requirement, if we're going by the statute. I'm not talking about whether or not you're liable by the statute. I'm just saying, let's just assume we're the creature that's regulated by the statute, and the statute says you need to be able to pay $30,000, $40,000. Okay, so your fund should be worth at least 30 or 40 in some way, like accountable. Like if I ran a balance sheet on it, it should be worth at least $30,000, $40,000. Now,
so what would be included on that balance sheet?
What types of assets? Okay, they could be receivables, but they have to have liquidity. They really do have to have liquidity.
Like some examples.
It could be precious metals. It could be literally cash in a vault. Mm-hmm. It could be something that can be easily sold for cash, so that you can pay a victim.
Brokerage account.
Brokerage account would work. Yeah, something with it can be a combination. You could have some cash, some gold and cash. That would work. Something with liquidity. It probably shouldn't. It shouldn't be something tied up under terms like a CD. It can't be that. A certificate of deposit.
Right.
So anyways, but you got to figure out. Okay, so at least have something that's enough to where you can compensate someone up to the limit imposed by state law, whatever state you're driving in or considered to be a resident in. And then how do I set it up? Well, first of all, you got to understand, why can I even do this in the first place? Like why do I not have to pay Geico?
Yeah.
Well, because if the law says I have to have car insurance to drive, let's just not debate that. Let's just accept that as true, which I can debate it, but let's just say that's true. Okay, fine. All right. So if I have to have car insurance, the law doesn't tell me how I can enter into that, how I can acquire that car insurance. It doesn't say insurance. It says that I have to be financially responsible. Okay. So to do that does not mean I'm required to do it a certain way. There's no law that says I have to go get a deal with an insurance company that's licensed by the state. Oh, wow. It just says, no, it's true. I mean, you have to be, at least to comply with the statute, you have to be financially responsible. You have to be able to pay a victim up to $30,000 or $40,000. So how would I do that? Well, that means I have the right to contract. That's what we're talking about here. So because I have the right to contract, I can contract however I want in order to comply with the statute. Wow. That's powerful.
I'm writing all this down.
So I have the right to contract. So then now I have to figure out, do I want to take on the risk? And here's a funny example. I take on the risk for my wife. I taught her how to drive, and she's a pretty good bet, although she did get a ticket the other day for running a stoplight. So I'll never
You're
let her
kicking
forget
her
that
off.
one.
Kick her off.
No, I'm still going to carry her.
Make her go on your
Well,
mother-in-law's.
Her rates are going to go up. So.
That's hilarious. Could you imagine that conversation? You send it in a certified letter.
Yeah, right.
And she gets it. She's like, "What's this?" And you're like, "I don't know. It looks like your rates went up."
Yeah. Exactly.
You're sleeping on the couch, man.
Yeah,
she's gonna put up the rates for sleeping in your bed.
Well, yeah, exactly. So here's the punchline, though. So her mother-in-law, now she's from another country, so her mom comes over here from the other country, and she's been here for a while. So I would not insure her. So because I don't want to I don't like the way she drives.
Dude, you have the biggest set to turn down your mother-in-law.
But
nothing scares John Singleton.
I let her down gently. I just said, I love you, but I just can't do it. You should just get another policy with Geico or something. And I helped her find a good rate, and she was okay with that. I really did that.
John, you go down in the annals of history as the bravest son-in-law ever. Say sorry, Grandma.
I'm just being pragmatic. So. Anyways, but you got to look at this stuff, because what happens if I'm in the parking lot and I get a ding on the car, the shopping cart, or someone keys my car. I mean, even if you have an insurance company, you got a deductible and all this stuff, so you still have the deductible.
Mm-hmm.
You still got to cover that, and that's on me. So you got that end of it, but then you got a collision. So the reason why this is my deciding factor, roughly, is I'm willing to bet on myself, and I'm also willing to bet on my wife that if we're in a collision, then I'm probably not going to be held responsible. It's probably going to be the other guy, because I usually am in the right of way and I'm usually following the rules.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's a safe bet. So if you have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Or ask somebody who knows you well enough to know if
that's
they could say,
even better.
Do you think I'm a safe driver?
Yeah.
Ask. Yeah. So kind of go on that. If you're texting and driving frequently, you probably shouldn't carry your own policy.
Yeah, probably not. Now,
yeah.
So you sort of covered this, but okay. So let's say worst case scenario, because I actually myself am very safe. I've never had an accident. I think once I misjudged a snowbank and put a small dent in my car. That's the best I did. Another time I got rear-ended by a guy. This was horrible. The guy's wife, and he was the nicest guy. His wife was breastfeeding in the back seat and was yelling at him. And he rear-ended me because of it. And I get out of the car, and he thinks I'm not a small guy. I'm not like a beast or anything, but I'm not a small guy. I get out of the car and start walking toward him, and he just had this look on his face like, oh God, this guy's gonna kill me. And I'm like, are you? And I see the baby in the back, and I just was terrified. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy just hit me with a baby out of the car seat in the back of his car. I was more worried about him. We were all fine,
Oh my gosh, yeah, right.
But so let's say something happens and you cause an accident where there's serious injury or something happens. Are you safe with that 30 or 40K for personal injury? What are you looking at there if the worst case scenario comes up?
Okay. Also remember, I'm judgment proof. I've been that for a quarter century.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
All right. So so if someone wants to sue me, then fine, and he's gonna have to sue my insurance company, which is my company. And
your company. So
keep this in mind. If I want to defend that case, I will need an attorney, as much as I hate them, but I can't defend a company in court. They won't let me. If it's a corporation, which it is, it's going to be that way. I'm not going to be the fund holder, owner, and the insured. I don't think it's proper. You could probably do it.
Say that again.
You could be the individual that's the driver, the licensed driver, with the money in your pocket to pay if you injure somebody. You could be that person.
Okay.
And so all that's required is, upon request, if the cops want to know, let me see your proof of insurance, right? Well, what they really want is your proof of financial responsibility.
Okay.
So all that means is you need an insurance card.
Right.
It's that simple. No one's going to audit you to make sure you have the money. So to be pragmatic, you could do this with no money, but that's not wise. Don't do that. You should have enough assets to cover somebody that are liquid. So just be responsible about doing
a reasonable amount. Yeah.
You should. Yeah. If you had 20, you could probably be fine, but you should have enough.
Okay.
So yeah, you need an insurance card. So if I'm in a wreck we're going to go back and forth with their insurance company and my company and me and all this stuff. And maybe it works out to where maybe the insurance company wants to sue my company. So I can fight it or not. I have to make that decision. If I don't fight it, worst case scenario, and they get a judgment, then they would go and the insurance company would go and take money from my insurance company. Now, here's the interesting thing. I never use a bank account for my insurance company. So there's no way that they could actually take the money.
Wow.
They couldn't do it. They would not even in a deposition. They wouldn't even. There's no way they can seize the money because there's no third party because it's my company. Now they could put a lien against the company. That's of no consequence to me.
Yeah.
So I do
just don't sell the company.
Yeah, don't sell the company. And I do ultimately have control over the assets in the insurance fund. Now I probably would pay. Just because, I mean, if I'm found responsible,
good person.
It's the right thing to do. But I'm not going to pay $1 million. I'll pay up to the statutory limit, 30 or 40,000. Sorry.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing I didn't realize is that essentially they're doing these massive lawsuits when people get in accidents because there's massive companies behind them. But if there's not a massive company to sue, there's no massive money to get.
Exactly. Well,
if you're uncollectible, it doesn't matter what they do. They could get $1 million.
Yeah.
You can get it like our guy we always talk about. They can get $1 million judgment against you. It doesn't matter. They're not.
That's right. That's right. So that's the way I look at it. So that's worst case scenario. So you just need the proof of financial responsibility, the insurance card. So every year I print out a new card. It's good for the whole year because I don't want to keep printing them out every quarter. That's all.
The whole year.
And then so the real question is, okay, so how do I structure this? So for many years, you could, here's the best way to do it. There's a dozen ways to do this. I recommend just registering a company in your state where you're mostly driving. I would do a limited liability company. No need for anything else. It doesn't need a tax number. It doesn't need a bank account. It just needs to be registered with the state.
Because sometimes it doesn't even need a bank account.
It doesn't need a bank account. And sometimes the state DMV will check to see if it's registered. Because like in Florida, I have on my insurance card the notation for self-insurance. The state actually recognizes self-insurance. That's what it's called.
Wow.
It's not called captive insurance. They call it self-insurance. So in Florida, the code is 11111. And that, so everybody has a code. If you look at yours, you'll see you have like Geico. There's probably some 5-digit code on there.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is if you're self-insured in Florida. Now I don't know. Every state's different. I don't know what it is, and you don't even need the code. It's just
Yeah.
It's just self-insurance.
Now, would you as a lot of us and a lot of our clients have LLCs, thanks to you. Would you recommend using a separate LLC for this than the one that you do?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, okay. Don't mix it with anything else. Yeah.
Okay. But like even you were saying, have some investment that you're, invest in it and then use that investment.
And have it and realize that that's the risk it's associated with.
That's the risk assessment. Is that
absolutely? That's one
of
your
risk.
That's
the risked asset. I mean,
pretty much. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, you can even have as a part of the asset, you can have some cryptos. You can have a Trezor wallet. That's the entire asset of the insurance company, and you have enough you have 5 Bitcoin in there, whatever.
Wow.
And if your Bitcoin,
is this something you would be willing to help people set up for some kind of consulting fee or something like that?
Yeah, I would set up I would do the whole structure as a package deal.
Because I know people are going to be calling me and I'm going to drool in the phone and try to sound smart and say,
okay,
John.
All right. Well, okay. But yeah, we don't have it like I don't have it packaged right now, but I do it for people. So
very cool.
Yeah. Now, how do you I'm doing one for my daughter right now. So I'm redoing the one for my whole family so my daughter can use it, but I'm going to separate out the ownership of all the vehicles. And I wasn't sure how I was going to do this over there.
I was going to ask you about that because you got a teenage daughter, and I just keep thinking, okay, my wife and I are one thing. My teenage daughter, who is going to be driving in a couple of years, man, that's so scary. So you're going to do a separate company for her, or separate assets, or what?
I'm actually going to insure her, and the reason being is I taught her how to drive, and I spent 2 years doing it, and it was arduous. I didn't miss a thing. I made her do everything many times, and she almost hated me for it. And I made her get certification and first aid CPR and the AED thing.
Wow, you're awesome.
And she has a foreign driver's license, so that way she's not even regulated in the state. She's a non-resident. I mean,
can I send my daughter to live with you for the summer? and you'll teach her. I literally said to my daughter the other day, because I know her and I have very similar personalities, and like we get so mad at each other. And I'm like, I just can't imagine teaching you to drive. I think I'm going to hire somebody, because I know she's just going to scream at me the whole time.
Oh yeah. Okay,
I make it sound bad. She's like, I love her to pieces. She's just a real character. And we just butt heads like crazy if I'm trying to teach her something. Like I tried to teach her how to play guitar. I thought the guitar was going to end up wrapped around one of our necks, but so she's telling herself how to play guitar, and now she's getting really good at it. So.
Well, yeah, there's some patience there, but it was a good experience. I mean, I think she had a good experience, but I made her do the things that she didn't want to do, like parallel parking, and and do it over and over and over again. So
you're inspiring me.
I'm very confident.
Up to that kid now.
I'm very confident. The real test is, Frank, would you let your daughter drive with the whole family in the car?
Oh wow!
If you're happy with that, then
yeah, that's a good one.
Good to go. Yeah, and that's a good test. And my daughter has done that. She's fine. So,
folks, you're getting all kinds of wisdom today. You're getting parenting advice from Mr. X. It's amazing.
Well, you got to take responsibility. This is about really. That's not cheating the system and not getting out without paying. Because you could pay hugely if you don't do this right.
Mm-hmm.
You could be screwed. So, in some cases, it's better to pass off the risk on a third party company that does it. So it's a really important decision.
Not to be entered into lightly if you don't understand this stuff.
That's right. That's right.
Don't kid yourself.
So here's what I finally decided to do. I'm going to make the vehicles owned by a limited partnership. Now, I've done this years back, and I think it'll work great now. The limited partnership will make the general partner the captive insurance company. So that will be the LLC. Then the LLP probably is not going to be registered with the state. It's just going to be a limited liability partnership written up in a contract, and then the owner is going to be identified as the insurance company. And those documents I keep in the glove box because I've had to produce them sometimes on a traffic stop.
Wow.
The cops want. And then one time I sold my car way back into like 2000, I think it was. I had a white Toyota, like some sedan, and I had it in an LLP. And when I sold it to the buyer, I showed him how to do this. He didn't have to register the car because it was already registered in the LLP's name, and he didn't have to pay the $500 registration fee.
Wow.
All I did was I just transferred the interest in the company to him on paper, and he kept it in the glove box. So it saved on the taxes too.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really amazing things you can do if you just take responsibility and structure things properly. So yeah, I would do an LLC, and then I would do an LLP, limited liability partnership, with each vehicle. So there's different things like, okay, on my insurance card, I have the name of the insurance company, which is the name I picked. I changed the name recently, but and it's got its phone number now. The phone number is bogus, and the address is an address I used to have a long time ago. Who cares? That's not legally significant. But what's nice is if I go buy a new car, the dealer will call up the insurance company to verify my policy. So you would think he's going to call and my phone's going to ring while I'm sitting there.
Yeah.
So instead of that, I use, like, you can get a quick number on the internet, like one of these disposable numbers.
It just hit me what you said.
Is that funny?
Call the insurance company. Hello.
Right, and I answer the phone. Yeah, he's insured.
Yes, he is.
So, I mean,
I want that on film.
So there's a couple ways to deal with it, but if you want to have a phone number,
imagine?
and it's a voicemail, what you do is you just say, like, on your voicemail, like, you have these free numbers with a voicemail, and the voicemail says, all agents are busy, please call back, and and no one ever answers, but the person's never going to follow up because so if the dealer's checking, he's going to say, well, I can't get through, so we'll just go ahead and sell you the car, and he'll sign the thing over because he's done his job. Okay, that's one way to do it, because he's going to check your insurance, right? You don't have to tell him you're self-insured. He's going to freak out. He's going to be like, well, you can't do that. So you just do it that way. The other way is once you pick your car and make the deal, you just have him deliver it to your house, and then that won't be an issue. If you have the dealer deliver it to your house, he won't check insurance.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you drive it off the lot that he's required by law to check your insurance to verify. So if you want to avoid that, just have him deliver it to your house. It costs $100 probably, or maybe less.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, something to keep
awesome.
in mind. Little nuance there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because I don't like going around and telling people this stuff because they, freak out, and then makes it hard to make a deal. They think I'm some kind of wacko, and they're going to get in trouble. So I make mine look just like everybody else's.
Yeah, I was going to ask. when I tell people, friends, family, clients about some of the crazy things you taught us how to do, and I mean crazy, like crazy awesome.
Okay.
The next thing they'll say, John, and I'm sure you get this all the time, they'll go, "Is that legal?"
Oh, all the time. Oh, yeah. Oh my
Because they
God.
think because it's something different, because it's a way around something, because it's a way to protect yourself, they think that you're doing something unethical. They think you're doing something illegal. Can you speak to that just in
Yeah.
with regard to this and with regard to a lot of the things that we do
Okay,
to
here's
protect
here's
people?
where something is illegal. When you're going to cause harm to somebody else, you're going to cheat them or something like that, or cause injury or risk to someone's property or well-being. That's when it becomes illegal. Not because there's no statute for something, because the statutes are pertain to corporations. Statutes don't regulate human beings. They might penalize you for committing a crime, right?
Mhm.
They're not gonna regulate people. They regulate commerce. They regulate businesses. So just because something is not in a statute doesn't mean it's not legal, or let's call it lawful.
Okay.
That's really what it comes down to. So the one thing, and we can get into more of that, but I mean, the one thing I want to cover that's important is is what you do. Okay, this is all nice and everything. It sounds really good, but think about this. What do you do for a catastrophic injury? How are you
Yeah.
covered
Yeah.
if, yeah, you get into a wreck and you're in a coma for 3 days and then you recover
Yeah.
and
For real. Yeah.
then you're good and everything's great after that and you're in perfect health for the rest of your life. But what happens to, like, $50,000 in medical bills and stuff like that?
Mhm.
I mean, your insurance company can be billed, that sort of thing. I mean, you can be billed for it. The hospital. So here's what I'd recommend. I don't do this right now for myself, but I may do this. I don't know yet. But if you have small children, it's probably a good idea. Have some type of policy that covers you for substantial injuries.
Gotcha.
Like for example, if you can't work and your income is impeded by it,
Mhm.
then yeah, you need some coverage, because your little corporation worth 30 grand is not going to cover you,
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's helpful.
even if you're not responsible. Obviously, you still got to cover. And I mean, what if the other guy's responsible and you're clearly not, and he totally is, and he has to pay you 1.5 million, but he's poor and he's
Right.
not covered? Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. So you still have to cover yourself. You got to be concerned about catastrophic. You know, what is that? There's all kinds of insurance you can get. You're not going to get insurance that deals with driving an automobile that's not automobile insurance if you want catastrophic. So if you want catastrophic, you got to think about like income replacement type insurance. What is it that you're covering? And you could find another policy somewhere else, or maybe it's part of your homeowners. So check
Right.
that out.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
If nothing else, I love the way you're helping people to think through these things. That there's
Yeah, I
other
mean,
ways. There's other
I mean,
ways.
why pay a third party all this money and then you have to fight with them to get the money paid out on a claim, when you can use it as an investment fund for yourself and control the liability and be responsible?
Mhm.
It's not for everybody, but I mean, I like it. I mean,
Right.
it's just an option.
Yeah, it's awesome. Oh, that's excellent. So, that's awesome. Where can people go? Usually we give them our links, but this stuff is so specific to you. Where would someone go to talk about something like this?
Well, you can go to aceofcoins.com.
Ace of Coins. At the bottom,
Now
you got that great
at the
link.
bottom, there's a schedule appointment, right? And of course, email me. I mean, I think my email is up there too.
Mhm.
And just describe that you were, wanted more information. I mean, there's more detail, obviously. I mean, these are the major issues, though, when you want to consider something like
And
this.
then, um, this is an easy way to plug some of our stuff. You mentioned if you're going to do this, you need to be uncollectible.
That
And
helps. Yeah,
yeah,
really.
it's a part of it.
Hmm.
You certainly don't want to be a person who's vulnerable to collection if you're going to get into serious stuff like this. So definitely, if you're interested in becoming uncollectible, set up a call with me. That stuff, believe it or not, thanks to Mr. X, that stuff's pretty basic. So you can go to remaincom.net, set up a call with me. I actually opened up my call schedule a little bit. I was pretty restrictive on my calls that I was taking because we were so busy, but I opened that up a bit. And so go to remaincom.net. I think I've got calls almost every weekday. I don't think I do it Friday, but call slots available, and happy to talk over what your needs are, where your vulnerabilities are, and how to get you set up pretty quickly. We're doing it pretty quick these days.
Yeah.
So that you can have the peace of mind to know if someone sues you, it's tough on them.
And keep this in mind. I know there's lots of creative people out there in the audience, and they'll think, "Wow, I can make this into a business." Okay, yeah, you can, but you got to become an insurance company. You cannot
Yeah.
do this with other people's money.
No.
You cannot pool money. It has to be only your money in your immediate family, not even like your Uncle Bob.
Right.
It has to be in your immediate family. So yeah, don't don't operate that way, because you definitely need to have bonding and permitting and stuff like that from the state.
Right. Cool. Good point. Yeah, we don't want people going crazy. All right. Excellent. So, folks, thanks for listening. V, you with us, man?
I certainly am.
I did mention before too, if people are interested in getting set up for trading, you want to do that big combo or some part of it where you want to set yourself up with a tax deferred structure to trade in, as well as get funding to start trading, as well as just be awesome. Definitely go to remaincalm.net and reach out to me. We can get all that started. We have our funding partners that we work with. Those guys have been doing amazing stuff.
Oh my
God.
Check
it out,
folks.
mean,
it's killer. Even if you got like crappy credit, we got a new credit program with these guys. I mean, 14 days clear.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what they're doing. Yeah, it's not like it's totally separate from what we used to do. We used to offer credit repair. We don't do that anymore because it's a nightmare. These guys have
the rule changes from the everything's changed ever since that Equifax hack.
Yeah, that killed
us.
We don't even offer it anymore. These guys are doing something different that we don't have access to. We don't ask.
we don't ask how the sausage is made.
Yeah, I don't.
All we know is that 3 of the biggest mortgage lenders in the United States uses this team that we refer to have their clients' files completely cleaned up so they can get funded for mortgages.
Yeah.
So that should tell you something. Okay. So we don't ask how the sausage is made. We've seen the results. 14 days, they get your credit clean, man. 14 days. So it's pretty amazing. We just refer out.
Yeah, we've been very pleased with what they're doing lately. So check us out.
And then the funding. So you get your funding done. I mean, depending on your score, depending on your employment, your score, your debt to income ratio, and all those other wonderful variables, you get up to $800,000 unsecured.
And we say that, but if you're willing to work on it, there's a lot of things that can be done. So even if the employment's not perfect, if the credit's not perfect, if you're willing to put a little bit of time and money into it, there's a lot that can get done there. So
a lot. And that's what
our associate in our funding team always says, like, well, what are they willing to put into the fund? Or the fund? Sometimes it takes some effort. Sometimes it takes some usually no money down at all in most cases. If you got like credit problems and stuff like that, you're probably going to have to put some money down, but not a whole lot considering what you're going to get within a few months. So it's pretty cool.
Yep.
That's all I have to say about that, V.
I just want to breathe heavily on the mic. Like, let's do that.
V, don't do that. People are paying you for the one-on-one thing for that. Remember we said with
that's true. Folks, if you want to go one-on-one with the great one and have me personally breathe into the telephone, please go there and check it out. Have it done.
It's more of an apish. It's like that kind of ape sound,
Oh my God.
We should probably get off air now.
You got it. All right, we're off.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, folks. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
CJ and I are about to do a show at the Gadfly, so if you're not there, get over there. We're about to go light it up, and all the good stuff.
Hey, me and Dex are gonna go live in the Watch Us Trade Room. We're gonna do our first ever live webinar. So,
dude, go there if you guys aren't there. The room is gonna be awesome.
We're gonna do.
I'm so excited about it.
We're gonna try it out and do live questions. So he's eating lunch or something like that. So we're gonna do it in a little while. But yeah, if you're in this is only for people.
Lunch today.
This is only for people who are in there. So.
Frank, I gotta tell you about the new taco joint that opened up near me.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
I'm excited. We gotta.
Oh my God. Hey, I went to Blue Point for lunch today with the missus.
Oh wow, really?
Dude, I have these ribeye tacos, bro.
We're still live, right? We have to.
I don't care.
We have to
share it on my screen.
We've got to go and visit. We've got to go visit Dex, and then we've got to go visit X. We should do a road trip. We should do a road trip. We should race.
Hey man, Amtrak, baby.
We should race.
You guys, man. Listen, you guys. I got lean and ripped from last time you saw me.
I'm gonna fatten you up. I'm gonna fatten you up, Johnny.
Yeah, I'm gonna be embarrassed to see
I don't
now.
care how lean and ripped you got. A weekend of eating and drinking with the gorilla will get you nice and
Yeah, I'll
fluffy.
do it. I'll do it. Sure. And I'll fast for
Fluffy.
72 hours after that.
Damn
Yeah,
you.
he'll get it. Oh wow, wow.
Oh
All right,
my god.
take care, guys. Thanks
All
everybody.
right, go.
Bye.
All right, guys, take care. All right, folks, thank you all for listening in. Comment, like, share, and tell all your friends and loved ones. I'm out.